It's safe to say 2020 hasn't gone to plan. And in MMA, no group has suffered more than Unbeaten starlets who saw their short-term fortunes take a nosedive. Today, we look at the biggest fallen prospects of the past 12 months, based on expectations entering the year and the spectacularly surprising nature of their loss. Welcome to the INC, and these are the 5 biggest derailed prospects of 2020. Number 5. Chase Hooper. Chase Hooper might look like an extra from Oliver Twist, but for a short while the baby-faced assassin was one of the sport's brightest talents. Hooper had just left his teens when he made his UFC debut, and while his win over Daniel Tamer was far from flawless, his grappling prowess and endearing personality made him a fan and company favorite.
Why'd you do that to my dad?
Who's your dad?
My father is Ben Askren. Shout out.
What? Man, I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to, bro.
At UFC 250, Hooper faced the biggest test of his career when against featherweight veteran Alex Caceres. Despite entering the fight unbeaten, many questioned whether Hooper was ready for such a jump in competition. The answer was soon evident.
He was moving all around. Oh, he heard.
Huge right from Bruce Leroy. Hooper back to his feet. The question is for how long?
Hooper was outclassed for the remainder of the fight, offering no threat to Caceres in the stand-up and leading commentators Joe Rogan and Daniel Cormier to question whether he belonged in the UFC in an empty arena, where Hooper could hear them. Hooper would lose the one-sided match by unanimous decision, and with all the schools on lockdown, would spend the rest of the year trolling Ariel Helwani.
That's your son?
Yeah,
Wait, how old is your oldest son?
I got 4 kids.
Oh, but you just said you had 3 young. Okay, well, how old's the oldest?
Oh, he's 20.
You have a 20-year-old son?
Yeah.
I thought that was Chase Hooper.
No, that was my kid.
Number 4. Macie Agapova. While not the biggest star, the spectacular nature of Macie Agapova's derailment earns a place in our top 5. A former kickboxing champion in her native Kazakhstan, Agapova's brawling style earned her a cult following on the regional scene. And after repeating the trick in her win over Hannah Cifers, the UFC were ready to cash in on their new wonder kid. At Agapova's request, she was paired against Ultimate Fighter contestant Shana Dobson, who entered the fight with a 3-4 record and coming off of the fastest loss in women's flyweight history. Agapova showed no respect for Dobson's skill set, swinging kicks and overhands at a feral pace, and seemingly desperate to end the fight as quickly as possible. The aggression soon took its toll in the second round, as Dobson reversed Agapova's early takedown and with her opponent visibly drained, rallied to claim an impressive upset victory.
Shana Dobson cashes as a plus 800 dog tonight. The upsets keep on coming. That is an incredible result.
Dobson's win created shockwaves in the betting industry, with one punter losing $35,000 betting on Agapova to win the fight, while Dobson's 930 underdog status saw her break the record for the biggest bookmaker upset in UFC history. Dobson enjoyed an upturn in popularity following the fight, while Agapova was wheeled out on a stretcher and straight to the nearest Bellator card. Number 3. Edmund Shahbazian. Glendale Fighting Club is one of the most maligned training camps in MMA, but Edmund Shahbazian went a long way to rebuilding its reputation. After making his debut, Shahbazian ran riot through the California regional circuit, winning all of his fights by first-round knockout to earn himself a UFC contract, while his association with UFC legend Ronda Rousey further added to his stock. Shahbazian continued his form in the octagon with wins over Jack Marshman and Brad Tavares, and earning him his first UFC main event against middleweight staple Derek Brunson. Brunson has often been used as the gatekeeper for upcoming middleweights, and it appeared Shahbazian would pass the test as he got the upper hand in the competitive first round. In the second, however, Shahbazian's lack of late fight experience was evident, gassing, attempting to keep pace with Brunson's wrestling before his veteran opponent got the job done early in the third, even if referee Herb Dean managed to make things more complicated than needed.
Oh, he's out!
Oh my
Oh, gosh.
Did Herb wave it off?
Oh, man, no, he didn't wave it off. No, he didn't. He survived the round, but that was, he is hurt.
Yeah, 2020 wasn't a great year for Herb. The loss re-sparked the criticism directed at Glendale in recent years, while Shahbazian faced further trouble for flying in an Armenian Republic flag for Artsakh during his walkout. Not that the UFC have ever gotten involved in politics. Still only 23, it's far too early to dismiss Shahbazian's prospects, but a move away from Glendale may be the next step for his title ambitions. Number 2. Macie Barber. It's easy to see why Macie Barber dubbed herself the future of women's MMA. After bursting on the scene on Dana White's Contender Series, Barber scored a trio of knockout wins, including a first-round stoppage of Jillian Robertson, and with many picking her to break John Jones' record as the youngest champion in UFC history. The hype around Barber saw her given the prelim headliner at UFC 246, where she was expected to make easy work of an MMA pioneer and 16 years her elder, Roxanne Modafferi. Surprisingly, it was Modafferi who started stronger, scoring an early takedown and thwarting all of Barber's attempts to return to the feet, before nearly turning the MMA world on its head at the start of the second round.
Macie Barber dropped by a jab from Roxanne Modafferi.
In reality, Barber had torn her ACL, leaving her vulnerable to Modafferi's ground and pound and leading to questions over whether she should be allowed to continue fighting. A bloodied Barber was easy prey in the third round, allowing 6-1 underdog Modafferi to score the biggest win of her career. Not that she had the chance to enjoy it, after Barber interrupted her post-fight interview.
And I just want to apologize to everyone who came out here tonight, but I'm not sorry for my performance because you know what? It made Roxanne shine. So Roxanne, congratulations.
It's safe to say Barber's camp didn't take kindly to the loss, with her father discrediting Modafferi on social media and Barber herself criticizing the in-ring physicians as she felt they exposed her injury to her opponent. Barber was ruled out of action for the rest of the year and has until January 2022 if she wishes to break Jones' record. Number 1. Sean O'Malley. It took 4 minutes for Sean O'Malley to go from the sport's next superstar to punchline for many fans. While O'Malley made his UFC debut 3 years earlier, 2020 was set to be his breakout year, scoring 2 spectacular first-round knockouts and a passionate following that saw him touted as the next Conor McGregor. With the UFC machine behind him, O'Malley was given a co-main spot at UFC 252 against Chito Vera, who entered the fight off of a controversial loss to Sung Yadong 3 months earlier. The fight's pivotal moment came 2 minutes into the first round, when Vera threw a glancing kick that damaged the perineal nerve of O'Malley's leg. O'Malley's movement was compromised for the remainder of the fight, and as one of the division's best finishers, Vera didn't need asking twice.
Oh! Huge elbow from Chito! Marlon Chito Vera stops the sugar show in round 1!
The fight wasn't the first time O'Malley had issues with his feet, nearly losing a 2018 match with Andre Sukumtat after suffering a similar fracture late in the third round. While the loss inevitably harmed O'Malley's stock, the worst damage was self-inflicted, as O'Malley spent the following months writing the loss off as a fluke and refusing to give his opponents any credit for the victory.
Let's look at his career in 5 years. Let's look at mine. I'm going to be fucking world champ and he's going to be a fucking journeyman. That's just what his style is. He wins some, he loses some. He gets lucky and beats me and jumps up like he's fucking won the lottery. Yeah. That just showed me what kind of a bitch he was.
O'Malley has recently announced a return to action in February, but will need to go a long way to repair the damage of his post-Vera fallout. And now, time for a few honorable mentions. Alonzo Menefield was considered the light heavyweight division's top knockout artist, until he ran into Ovince St. Prue's left hand. Max Roshkoff's sole UFC appearance led to a first loss and a place in MMA infamy. Impa Kasanganay lost his first match at the hands of Joaquin Buckley, but he can hold refuge in being part of highlight reels for years to come. This is the INC, and Happy New Year.